The 1976 psychop that was called CSICOP never had a chance of succeeding in its goal, which was to headkick you, yes, you, dear reader, and the population en masse, into ignoring their natural, spiritual, and religious practice tendencies, such as meditation and prayer. Shown by Dr. Newberg in Brain Scan Studies. Why was it such a hopeless cause? Because the leading fellow of Psychop, Richard Dawkins, explains more than once, on video, that there has never been a successful atheist society, or tribe, or city-state, in all human history. He explains that a universal practice of religions, since the dawn of man, is clearly a physical brain tissue predisposition, installed by his, allegedly, blind, pitiless evolution. So by militating against religious practices, leading atheist advocate Dawkins is arguing against evolution for his entire career. So he is just a hired salesman, and we are laughing out loud. It is so hopelessly naive on the part of the instigators of the Psychop since 1976, that by lobbying and public ranting and condemnation, that our physical brain tissue, perhaps 20%, installed by evolution, could be talked into obediently just turning itself off on hearing a few pseudoscience key phrases, like critical thinking, anecdotal evidence is inadmissible, the God delusion, and eternally demanding scientific references from people who dare to voice their natural, spiritual, and religious impulses. So they never had the hope, these atheist headkickers, Paul Kurtz, and Corliss Lamont, James Randi, Richard Dawkins, and they failed dismally, having no successes whatsoever, over 40 years. The online pseudoskeptic movement, volunteer foot soldiers for the 1976 Psychop, is quite similar to Hitler's brown shirts, criminals recruited in brown uniforms, the SA, to beat, bash and burn, and terrify and to silence political rivals, before Hitler had any real political power. Chris Carter wrote The Fall of the House of Skeptics, revealing how they just can't disprove the irrefutable proof of telepathy established by J.B. Rhine already in the 1950s, and even hardened and burnished by later parapsychologists, such as Dean Radin. Robert McLuhan wrote Randi's Prize, which reveals the utterly criminal head-kicking nature, the Psychop, of the online pseudoskeptic movement, lying, cheating, omitting, twisting, distorting. Nowadays, we watch the death throes of the pseudoskeptic movement, death in terms of any credibility they may have had as self-appointed lead thinkers, laughing out loud, led by a magician, James Randi, as the JREF hate site, Haemorrhages Hate, in its public death throes, onto one of its own, a woman skeptic, Rebecca Watson, by thousands of rape, death, and dismemberment threats, in an effort to silence her, in Hitler brown shirt style. Rebecca Watson pictured. And here it is signaled by a commentator, frequenting the JREF Educational Foundation forum. From Snarly Skepticism, an unofficial JREF watch. Rebecca Watson's article in Slate, page 26, JREF forum. Posted, the 20th of November, 2012, 6:17 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, I'm not one to support the Skepti bunny, but I tell you, skeptic Rebecca Watson is still taking a lot of shit for her personal opinions / feelings on misogynist behavior from other skeptics. Thousands of death and rape threats. This fact has really, and I mean really, pissed off a whole lot of people. Rebecca Watson's article in Slate, page 26, JREF forum. The usual skeptic tactics have been brought out, nitpicking, combative, ridiculous demands for citations and proof, this in a philosophical / political / personal opinion milieu, mind you. But what is both ironic and very disturbing is that pure good old sexism, in all its arrogant, stupid, fearful, throwback responses, is alive in the skeptic world as elsewhere. Yes, all those intellectual, superior, better educated, smarter than the rest of us, and above all, critically thinking men, and not a few women among them, are as sexist as the rest of the world. And it doesn't hurt to read this part again. The usual skeptic tactics have been brought out, nitpicking, combative, ridiculous demands for citations and proof, this in a philosophical / political / personal opinion milieu, mind you. Snarly skeptic. We knew it all along, didn't we? Us ordinary people. Harassed and bullied by the petty criminal element of online society, the pseudo-skeptics. And they themselves are revealing their true piranha-like nature on Rebecca Watson. revealing that the mislabeled JREF Educational Foundation is really just a hate group that takes donations of millions and pays no tax.